have I, West Wing nerd, tried to lure you to LA? I'm like, I'll do a dinner with Martin Sheen if you come.
It's an ongoing effort.
Right.
I wear my bike clothes every Wednesday. Come. You can ride all year long here.
Hey, I hate to joke about your misery, but as you were talking about your rat problem,
yes.
I was envisioning them coming into your house while you're asleep and preparing like a Michelin star meal, like a gourmet meal.
Ratatouille?
Yeah.
They like the basil.
Exactly. Yeah. I immediately go to animated movies from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, can I tell you a love story?
Oh.
About me and Bob Cesca?
Okay.
I was having a completely Christmas. Thanks for asking. Just, alone, single, can't see family. Friends aren't doing anything because of just leaks, rats, puppy diarrhea, everything you can think of. And I went for a ride finally at New Year's Eve, New Year's Day.
I saw the photos.
Oh, the meetup group didn't show up, so I had to ride by myself. I did a Malibu to Hermosa Beach. I did like a 40-mile ride. And guess what I listened to? The Bob Cesca New Year's Eve extravaganza.
Oh, wow.
And Bob Cesca talked about me, and I literally, there was like a single tear, Bob, going down the bike path on the beach. I had a single tear because you were saying sweet things about me. And it made my whole holiday.
It was all true, and partial credit to Rocky Mountain Mike, who started down that road.
Yes,
and
I
stole the whole segment from him. He was like, and by the way, Stephanie Miller, and I jump in. Yes, let me talk about Stephanie Miller. Here's why Stephanie Miller is so great. Shut up, Mike. Let me go off about Stephanie Miller.
Oh.
Can you imagine a better love story? It's about me.
Right.
I was riding, and it was all about me.
So that's what got your attention.
That was Bob's Christmas gift to me and my crappy Christmas. I was like,
yes.
Anyway, thank you, and thank you, Rocky Mountain Mike. It was very sweet.
That was the extent of my very, very thoughtful and generous Christmas present for you in lieu of, actual gift.
Thank you. Well, I don't even know where to start this morning. This Hannity stuff, Bob, I guess that's what people are saying while we're so impatient, is because this is all out in the open, right? Mm-hmm. These texts, Peter Navarro admitting it live on TV yesterday again.
We all know exactly what happened. We all know who planned this. We all know who orchestrated it. And it's just, to me, it's just a matter of time before, and as you were saying a second ago, our friend AG from Mueller, she wrote, oh my God, well, if she's even half right with some of the things that she's been reporting on Twitter, we're all going to see some pretty good news here as far as accountability and justice being served as a consequence of all of this. And it needs to be. There's no doubt about it. It's not just about punishing the existing conspirators in the insurrection. It's about making sure they don't do it again. It's about making sure that they know, anyone who else is planning one of these things, if they realize that they could be facing serious prison time, federal charges that, certainly are difficult to wiggle out of, they won't do it. They'll think twice before they go and try it again. Yeah. And that's what we've been looking at. It was almost like in the wake of 9/11, where we were thinking, okay, well, there's going to be another attack at some point.
Well,
and
Bob, that's, when I'm watching, did you watch the Peter Navarro thing? He's just such a crackpot. And he's literally saying, well, I was the guy with all the receipts. I'm the one that did all the research. I had all the evidence. It's like, that doesn't work. You can shoot your mouth off on Steve Bannon's podcast about that, but you had no evidence. You had zero evidence. What you're describing is a coup against the United States of America. It's taking the actual results and finding a way to overturn them. You're not talking about, I had all the evidence. You had no evidence. You had zero evidence. Of voter fraud, right?
The most fascinating thing about this isn't necessarily Peter Navarro, but keep an eye on Ivanka Trump.
Yeah.
Because I have this crazy theory that Ivanka is going to turn on her dad, at least to a certain extent, because she has continued ambitions. She's got a whole career ahead of her, perhaps in politics, obviously in business in some way, obviously continuing to market her own name and personality out there as a thing in reality shows or whatever else. So she needs to distance herself from her dad. She needs to restore the Trump name. And obviously our friend Mary Trump is doing a nice job of keeping the Trump name somewhat reputable, at least to her extent. But with Ivanka, if she wants any future whatsoever for her and her children, she's going to have to cut the ties as much as possible with her dad and all of this insurrection business.
But as you pointed out about them on Twitter, Bob, about the subpoenas in New York, you just said they're con artists who believe they're above the law. The whole family. They're all, I mean, I can't believe Melania is grifting, trying to sell her stupid hat she wore when Macron visited the White House. I mean, of course, every other first lady donated it, Smithsonian, Presidential Library, whatever. Of course, she's trying to make money off of it because that's what they are. They're just grifters and con artists.
Right. And that's why they're trying to wiggle out of this subpoena from Letitia James in New York. And it's not because they're somehow trying to violate the law by ignoring the subpoena. They're obviously pursuing a legal activity here, which is to try to get the subpoena quashed from the New York AG. But it's the idea of it. It's the idea that this is what the Trumps always do. When faced with any sort of legal accountability, the Trumps try to wiggle out of it because they've got nothing to hide, right?
Yeah.
And that's one of the craziest things in all of this. And this goes back 5-6 years. The craziest thing with the Trump tactics is invariably every time they do something like ignoring a subpoena or refusing to turn over documents, refusing to be held accountable, they just look more and more guilty. I don't know what happened to that qualification for guilt, at least when it comes to press coverage, where it used to be if someone were to do something like that once, the press would be all over it. Why do they look so why are they portraying themselves as being guilty like this? Why are they making things worse for themselves? But that just gets ignored.
Yeah, we got to put a stop to this, treating subpoenas like they're party invitations to the Hamptons. Like, you don't get to just, I can't make this. Like, it's okay.
Yeah, the law is optional, Stephanie. Don't you know? It's just an optional thing. We can listen to it or not. They're like the rules at the swimming pool, you know? You can run on deck sometimes if you're in a hurry, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's ridiculous.
Oh my God, my favorite thing you said on Twitter is that I just can't believe Tucker Carlson, who I'm sorry, is the prissiest little mother I've ever seen. Just because you've taken off your bow tie doesn't mean you look like any less of a prissy little prep school. Okay, but he's always doing these segments on manliness, right? And you just says the baby-faced prep school man boy who laughs like Tom Halson Amadeus.
Oh, wow.
I never
That's
thought of that, but that is true.
Yeah.
Accurate.
He does have that.
I did a compare and contrast with the two laughs. I got the laugh from Amadeus. I got the laugh Tucker Carlson's
can you
laugh
send
and
them?
played them side by side. Yes, I will.
Aww.
I will send them. I you know what? I wish I had my soundboard turned on right now. I'd play it for you on your show.
Bob Cesca and Stephanie Miller shows exchanging bodily fluids since 2006.
Live on the radio. You're allowed to do this with the FCC?
Yes.
The FCC allowed the exchange of body fluids on the air. I'm not even sure you can say the phrase bodily fluids on the air.
Well, we'll run it by the FCC. See what
train has left the train has left the station. Is going into the tunnel.